All right, here with Kellam head coach Nicole Morgan of the Knights as their field hockey team got a big victory today, 7-1 over the Kempsville Chiefs. Her fifth year at the helm, and coach now 1-3 in the campaign because you had three tough games with First Colonial, with Western Branch, and with Cary Christian to start. But you had to be really pleased with how the team came out right out of the bat. Ellis Cannon, I think, had your first couple of goals just about 6-7 minutes in, and the team was locked in.
Yeah, they were locked in from the start. Like you said, we had a little slow start to the season. We have two seniors that are out with injuries right now, which was a huge loss. They're still a huge asset to a team. If you watch the game today, one of them actually, they both tore their ACLs. One's on a next step up because she had her surgery back in the spring, but she actually took a stroke during the game today as well. So still keeping them part of the team, keeping them bonded. But with the loss of those two, we are really young coming in and just trying to get everybody on the same page. We know that the skill level and the game understanding isn't there 100% for every player, but the older players like Milena and Ellis and those that do have the experience are really stepping up as leaders, trying to guide them in the right path, and then just trying to get them bonded and having fun no matter what.
Yeah, for sure. And I believe that one took the stroke for you. Pisterman, she's a key cog for you. Let's talk about Ellis Cannon a little bit more, what she brings your team, and also Milena Mignano. I know she was hurt a year ago, came from Argentina, had the big sophomore season with the 20 goals and almost 10 assists, and they were really dynamic together, and a lot of times worked in tandem as you got close to the shooter circle and put one through the net today.
Yeah, no, the two of them are awesome. We actually have like a competition committee that's one of our like leadership groups within the team, and those two are the two players that were voted for that. So they bring out a good competition amongst themselves, but they're also really strong in when they feel the pressure that one needs to perform. They do a great job of working off of each other. And as you said, on the field, they find each other really well. They have the skill, but they also are really confident and trusting in their teammates to work the ball around to them as well.
Certainly the injuries can, rear its ugly head, and it's affected your start of the season. But you brought back some all-state performers. I believe Lily Turner was one of them for you as well.
Lily's one with the injury. She tore
right?
ACL,
Yeah, but you also had a second-team all-state performer. I'm drawing a blank. Was a ninth grader last year.
Ellis.
Yeah, Carly Ellis. I mean, so you have some pieces there, or components there. Do you feel like as you drop down into Class 5 this year, where you have Cox and Epps and those teams, that this team can make a run because of last year's success making the state tournament?
Yeah, I think no matter what, I always said, Kellam, we're a grit is one of our key terms and phrases we like to use for the team to describe how we fight and compete no matter what. So early season, we know that all of our kids don't play club. They're not always having a stick in their hand. I like my players to play other sports. So a lot of them are playing lacrosse or soccer in the spring, but those elements bring an asset to the field of field hockey when they're being competitive every time they're stepping on the field. So the beginning of the season is more working on fundamentals and getting them used to the stick and the different rules of field hockey, but that competitive nature that comes from other sports come postseason is something that you can't get rid of.
I've heard of some other coaches. We actually talked about this with Scotty and Beanie on our first podcast about the COVID year. And you're obviously in your fifth year at Kellam. You were at Princeton before that, getting the JV players and some of the freshmen acclimated. Have you sensed that it's taken a little bit longer, that acceleration process for some of the girls as they go into the high school ranks and they play the varsity level with that speed and so forth? Or?
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think like the sophomores I have on my team this year, they didn't play any middle school hockey. So for them, that's 2 years that are really pivotal in just even understanding the rules of the game. So a lot of the freshmen, sophomores I have right now, it's still, unless they were a part of a club team prior to or had another family members that have played hockey, like they're still trying to understand the rules because field hockey has a lot of rules. So even just understanding the rules of the game are lost in those early stages, whereas other schools have players that are playing more club. So unless you were really playing club and haven't been introduced to the sport. So it does make it a little bit harder. And there's a little bit of a gap right now that we're missing, but they're quickly picking up. And I think you'll find that in the next probably 4 or 5 years moving into the high school season with this now freshman, sophomore class, or the 6th, 7th grade, when they come up to high school, I think it's going to open the floodgates to have better hockey of what we used to have.
Come on, before you let you run, what do you like most about this group right now? And you feel like your identity or strength as a squad is? And certainly there's some similarities with your team and other contenders in Region 5A across the Beach District. But what do you like most about this particular group here in 23-24?
I think, as Milena said before, they love each other. And there's nothing, honestly, like there's been tests and trials. We've had 3 losses, but they still every single day find some way to come out, bring the energy. They pump each other up. They lift each other up when they're doing, when they're having a bad day. They communicate. Today was our Morgan's Message game, which is all about mental health and making sure everybody's on the right page. And that's what they do, a great job of communicating with each other. And that's something we can't take away.
Can a win like this, 7-1 over Kempsville? We know Amber Jones is a good programmer there with the Chiefs. Can it be a springboard towards what's ahead for you, district, even some out-of-conference, out-of-district games that you have as you get jockeying for the playoffs, which will be here before you know it? I know it's only September, but it comes up on you quick.
It does come up really fast. I think for me, like a game like this, and like you said, Amber's a great coach. I've coached coached her and coached with her multiple times. She's awesome. She does the same thing of bringing a bond within the team, so not taking that away, but having early goals allows more freedom in the subbing rotation, getting players on the field that typically wouldn't in those tougher games, and giving them an option to get on the field and giving them opportunities to fail in a game situation, in that stressful situation, to learn how to handle that and handle the pressure and even understand the movement a little bit more than what we can do at practice.
Let's experiment some, right?
For sure.
Well,
yeah.
All the best. Thank you so much. Nicole Morgan, the Knights should be a team to watch out for this year. And we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you so much.